It's a wonderful zchus to come here. We all know what it says in Megillat Esther. We all know that. Let's notice something that looks very strange. Megillat Esther starts telling us Achashverosh was a king. After 3 years of being a king, he decides, I'm making a party. What kind of party? 180 days of a party. Were you ever by a party? I'm sure you were. After 2 hours, 3 hours, isn't it a bit boring? It sure is. What does he think people are going to do for 180 days straight? When he finishes 180 days for the higher up people, first class, then he says, okay, it was so good, another 7 days, but everybody has to come. After 180 days, he needs another 7 days. Now everyone should come. What does he want? Something suspicious over here. And everybody has to come to the party? Someone doesn't want to come to the party, he's not in the mood, he has to. Isn't that strange? Well, says the Medrash Rabbah and Megillas Esther, what happened was, there's something behind the lines. Haman was looking for ways how to wipe us all out. How do you do that? Am Yisrael is the only nation from the beginning of the world for thousands of years, with everyone's trying to make pogroms and all the kind of things, and we're lasting to 120. Well, so how do you wipe them out? So I'll tell you how. When people have things, when Jews get married to Goyim, when Jewish boys go to women, especially not Jewish women, Hashem doesn't like that. And then Hashem says, as they say, get out of here. That's the way to get rid of them. Hashem always saves Am Yisrael. Even when they're not doing so good spiritually, even when they killed 6 million, Hashem is still saying Am Yisrael got hit, 6 million, but He's going to let Am Yisrael sprout up again. Look what's going on. Beautiful. Thousands of yeshivas all over the world. Hitler thought he would finish with us. He wasn't. But what makes HaKadosh Baruch Hu say He doesn't want us, chas v'shalom, is people go, especially to Goyish woman. So what do? He says, listen, Haman tells Achashverosh, you have 2 palaces. One should be the party of the boys. One should be the party of the girls. It looks so tzanua. Look, a separate party, a separate building, a separate palace. What was behind the lines? Let the Jewish boys be with the Goyim, who are bored from morning to day for 180 days. Drinking wine, being drunk, talking not nice, talking not tzanua kind of concepts. And the Jewish boys don't hear these kind of things. Let them see not nice things, hear not nice things. And the Goyim are going to go to the other building to sin with the woman. That was the whole plan. And they'll be so best friends, the Goyim and the Jews together, everyone drunk together, they'll sin. Before you know it, you get all the Jewish boys sinning. When they're sinning, Hashem is going to say, get out of here, throw them out. That's how you get rid of them. Mordechai says the Medrash Rabbah knew what's going on. What's the whole plan? Well, he knew that was the whole plan. He said, no one should go to the party. But they thought they know better. What do you mean? It's so nice of him inviting us to a party. Like this, the Jews are always thrown out. And like this, the king is saying, everyone has to come. Isn't that nice? They don't realize what's going on. Mordechai says, no, it's not nice. He's just doing this to wipe you all out. That's what he wants. They didn't listen. They went and they got drunk. 18,500 Jewish boys went to the other building with the Goyim. 18,500 Jewish boys sinned. All of a sudden, there's posters all over the place. Lehashmid, leharoig, lehabeid, it's kol haYehudim. Haman No, now he's able to succeed. Hashem is not happy with them. Now he's able to succeed to wipe them out. Mordechai was waiting. Is there someone going to be with a conscience? Will someone despair that 18,500 Jewish boys sinned? No one was in pain. No one was saying that they're sad and they're sorry with the conscience, what they did. Instead, you know what they were saying? They're having a good time. They're saying they're enjoying it. He made beds. The feet of the beds made of gold. The most delicious foods and wines. Wines they drank in one cup and the guy's head is spinning. No conscience? What's going to be? And all of a sudden, everyone's trying to save their skin. There's a big poster all over the world. He was the king in the whole world. 127 countries. All over the world, not Hitler's in Germany. He conquered a couple of countries. It was all over the world. To wipe them all out, to kill them all out. What do you do now? So you know what the Jews tried to do? They tried to sell themselves as slaves. If they'll put money out to buy me as a slave, so then they won't want to waste the money, and they'll hide me in some hiding place that the goyim shouldn't kill me. But no one wanted to buy them. They just wanted to kill them out and take their money. They're more than happy to do so. So what do you do? Well, how did this happen? Says the Gemara in Megillah, if you Yud from Aleph. There was no yeshivas really going on. There was no learning Torah going on. They weren't learning Torah. And then by 180 days, by the higher class with the goyim, afterwards he says, it's going so good, they're falling so quickly. Another 7 days, but everyone has to come. Everybody has to come. I'm not going to force them to sin, but once they're drunk with the goyim for a week, they're going to sin. That's all he wanted. That was the whole plan. He knew it was boring for 180 days, but that was the plan. And he almost succeeded. Says Mordechai, he took together all the Jewish boys. He says, listen, these big posters, don't look at the posters. We're learning Torah now. We're going back. We're doing what we're supposed to do. We're going to try to be good people. We're dropping all the nonsense. We're coming back to the Torah. Almost thousands of Jewish boys are coming in. We're starting, okay, Rabbi, what should we learn? You see out the window over here, you see over here the Kotel HaMaravi. So in the Beis HaMikdash, then was not the time they had a Beis HaMikdash. But he said when they had a Bet HaMikdash, they would bring sacrifices. They would also bring Korban Mincha. One of the sacrifices was made out of wheat. It says, you know what do you do with the wheat? Let's learn the halachot of how do you bring a sacrifice of wheat? Well, they're learning these halachot. All of a sudden, everything's turning around. All of a sudden, that night, and they were starving because they knew they're about to be killed any day. And it was scary. It wasn't pleasant at all, you know? And they know just waiting to something scary over here. The mothers came into the kids. Kinderlach, our dear children, you didn't eat yesterday and you didn't eat today. And Haman already got them to be killed. He put all the children in chains to be all ready. No one can run away. That was terrible, you know? You don't realize. So picture what was going on. It was really terrible. A bunch of thousands of Jewish kids all chained up as if they did something bad to someone, all chained up. No. And they're learning the halachot of the sacrifice, Korban Mincha. No, that night, all of a sudden, the king can't sleep. He started getting worried that Haman wants to take the queen and kill the king and take over. And all of a sudden, he can't sleep at night. In the middle of the night, Haman is so excited he's going to kill Mordechai. He's knocking in the middle of the night. Who bothers someone else in the middle of the night? The king yet? How does he dare knock on the door in the middle of the night? What does he want? And then he remembered that Achashverosh, the king, there was once 2 officers that wanted to kill him. Is it possible that someone saved my life and that this part we know? In one day, all of a sudden, everything turned around. Haman is dangling dead from the tree that he prepared for Mordechai. Am Yisrael is all happy, and Mordechai is big and important. Instead of hanging from the tree, he's big and important and powerful instead of Haman. In one day, Am Yisrael sees, they realize now what they did. They realize 8,500 Jews sinning is a terrible thing. And with everything we did, Hashem still loves us. He's still making us miracles like this. Everything turned around. They saw how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves them. They say, Ribono Shel Olam, we want to go back now to learn the Torah from love to Hashem. We see how much Hashem loves us. We see how much Hashem loves us. Kabbalat HaTorah me'ahava. Now, so what did Chazal do to keep us going, to remind us of the miracle? I would say to try to be super careful from keeping away from Goyish women, or something like that. That was the problem over there. To get boys to learn more Torah. But you know what we see? They said what you should do is, you drink wine, but that was the whole problem over there. That they were drinking wine with the Goyim, and they went to sin with the Goyim. To drink the wine, and to give Mishloach Manot, to be best friend of everybody, to give charity to the poor. But why? We have to understand, why is this what you're supposed to be doing on Purim? The problems were problems of going to Goyish women, problems of not learning Torah, of those other problems. What does that mean? But there's something very deep going on. A person has a heart of liking some people and not being able to stand others. That's the way it goes. Usually people in their immediate family and friends, usually they like them. And there's certain people he doesn't like. Very normal thing. Over there, they liked the nonsense and the bad things that were going on. And they didn't like to learn Torah. What Chazal did, what the sages did at that time, they turned around the heart. The heart is to love Hashem. Everything good we have is only from Him. To love Hashem, to love the Torah, to love the mitzvahs, to love being good, to love our fellow human being good to people. Mishloach manot, matanot le'avim, that you like. To use the power Hashem gave us of liking in the right direction. Liking good people. Liking good things. Being friends of everybody. Give Mishloach manot, even though your roommate got on your nerves. You're in the middle of sleep, but turn on the light, you're really angry at him today. No, give Mishloach manot anyway. So this is the idea. What they did was, they changed around. Everything's changed. Take a look what's going on. They realize all of a sudden Hashem loves them, so that love goes to Hashem, to mitzvahs, to our fellow Jews, to our brothers. That's what you like. And strengthen the good relationship to everybody. On one side. And on the other side, when it comes to bad things, we don't want bad things. When we know someone wicked who wants to kill people with no reason, we bang Haman. Haman! Boom, boom, boom. You see in Shul, boom, boom, everyone's banging away. To show they don't like bad people. They want to kill without a reason. You strengthen the feelings of where yeah, where no. So we see it's a very important issue on Purim to make friends with all those who are angry at them. A lot of people have grudges against different people. But now is the time to make friends with everybody. Mishloach manot to everybody. Poor people that sometimes get in your nerves, give them charity. Don't say get to my nerves. No nerves. I like people. I want to be good to everyone. I like good things. I don't like murderers. I don't like bad people. And when you drink, the idea of the drinking is, drink, don't lose your head. Some people make a mistake. Think you lose your head, and then they do something dangerous to themselves and others. That's not what it means. What it means is, be happy. Says the Taz in Shulchan Aruch, be happy, thankful to Hashem. You see, someone has a good heart when he gets a bit high with the drinking. It's so beautiful. You see, he wants to be good. He wants to be good. It's so beautiful. Not to lose the head completely, but to be a bit high and jolly. You see how much he's happy to do good, to be friendly with people. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay, now let's see a little bit about the halachot of Purim. This year, Purim comes on a Friday. So I would like to explain different halachot that it doesn't happen every year, about the halachot of Purim on a Friday. You'll see there's two kinds of people of how to make the meal on Purim. Some make it in the early afternoon. Some make it close to Shabbat, Friday afternoon, starting on Friday, going into Shabbat. When Shabbat comes in, they make Kiddush. They daven Ma'ariv in the middle of the meal. They continue going on. Which way, when you're planning out your day, which way is better? Says the Raman Shulchan Aruch and says the Mishnah Berurah, it's better to do it in the early afternoon, but says the Aruch HaShulchan Reish Mem Tes in Chot Shabbat, better to start off before Chatzot. Look at the calendar. When is Chatzot? Start the meal before Chatzot. 2 minutes before Chatzot, start the meal, and then go on. Is better than starting late and going into Shabbat. Why is that one better? It's not forbidden, it's also okay, but it's better. Why is it better? For a lot of reasons. Let's bring a couple of reasons why it's better. Number one, everyone knows before you have a cup of wine, you're supposed to make Borei Pri HaGofen. Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Borei Pri HaGofen. Everyone knows that. Well, just a minute. When you had the meal on Purim, I'm sure you had a Borei Pri HaGofen on Purim. And you go, that's for sure. And you go into Shabbat, you have Kiddush. Just a minute, stop a minute. Are you going to make a Borei Pri HaGofen on the wine for Kiddush? You already made a Borei Pri HaGofen at the beginning of the meal on Purim. Are you going to make another one for Kiddush? Yes? No? There's two opinions about this. We don't know what to do. So what do? Beautiful. That's called Pores Mapa. Beautiful. Very nice. And then you cover the chalot. Well, can you make a Borei Pri HaGofen? It's a machloket. Says the Mishnah Berurah in Siman Reish Ayin Aleph, Tziv Katan Chaf Aleph, and over there in Shar HaTziyun Chafei, says the Mishnah Berurah, we don't know what to do about Borei Pri HaGofen and Kiddush. So why are you making yourself problems? Why are you making yourself problems? Yeah, Borei Pri HaGofen, not Borei Pri HaGofen. Instead of making yourself problems, do it in the morning, and that's all. You want the problems. Someone that makes the meal on Purim in the afternoon, going into Shabbat, when he makes the middle of the meal, he has to stop and make Kiddush. But he doesn't have to make a Borei Pri HaGofen in the Kiddush or not. You don't know what to do. If you don't know what to do, so why are you doing this? Open Mishnah Berurah. It's not forbidden, but why do this to yourself? The same question is also, do you make a nu hamotzi lechem min haaretz? Why? Says Mishnah Berurah, and also in Reish Ayin Aleph. You know, there's two opinions. When you start the meal off Friday afternoon, you go into Shabbat. After Kiddush, is like a new meal. I have to make a new hamotzi lechem min haaretz or not? There's two opinions about this. I don't know what to do. So why make some problems? Therefore, start off in the morning, go into a little bit. That's the best. Another thing, those at Pores Mapa, very nice. Those that make Pores Mapa and they make Kiddush in the middle, like we just explained, you start on Friday, late afternoon, going to Shabbat. Just a minute. How do you bench on Shabbat? We bench in the Birkat HaMazon, we say Retzei, like in Shabbat. On Purim, we say Ala Nislim, Ala Niflaot, not Retzei. If you look at the beginning of the meal, you start off, so when you bench, you should make Ala Nislim, like the beginning of the meal. If you look at the end of the meal, Shabbat, you have to make Retzei. Which one are you going to do? Huh? That's right. So what are you going to do? So therefore, says Mishnah Berurah, says, if someone does the Pores Mapa Kadesh for going into Shabbat, what he should do is not to make a Borei Pri HaGofen, because of the doubt, to make a nut, better not. not to make a new hamotzi lechem min haaretz, and not to say Al Nisim. You lost out your wonderful mitzvah Al Nisim. Once a year, have a chance to thank Hashem. Al Nisim, Al Niflot, Ribono Shel Olam. Thank you so much, all the miracles. Everyone wants to wipe us out, and here we are. Everything I went through my life. It's not only thankful on this. I'm thankful for everything we went through in life. Now as a kid, I was once almost killed. Anyway, and Baruch Hashem, I'm alive, 120. Thankful in everything. I lived in the Arab village. I was almost killed. A whole bunch of them. I was a little boy. And it was a miracle that I stayed alive. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Al Nisim. And the miracles. It's a miracle I'm alive. Al Nisim. Val Niflaot. Thank you. I have once a year of Purim to say to Hashem, thank you. Why should I lose it out? Why should I lose out the chance? Anyway, but those that do make the Friday afternoon think, so those that in the afternoon going into Shabbat, they're doing okay, but then should not make a Peri-Gafen, not make a Mitzvah Levinot, and not make Al Nisim Al Niflaot, just let's say, but they're losing out 3 mitzvahs. It's better doing starting off in the morning, going into the afternoon.
How does doing it in the morning have to make a difference?
Such a good question. The answer is like this. If you start in the morning, let's say 12:15. You have a meal 3 hours. So before Shabbat, you have a chance to finish up. Practically, you know what I mean? Okay, now, and also there's another mitzvah in the morning. Any mitzvah, you show, so we start off showing, I love the mitzvah, I'd like to be good. So you start off b'zrizut, it's called. Ma ze zrizut? I want to straight go do the mitzvah. You know what I mean? Let's say mothers ask the children, please throw out the garbage. Some kids say, Mommy, I don't have koach for this now. That's not nice. The mommy asks you to throw out the garbage. You say, thank you, Mommy, for the mitzvah. Kibbut Avav. I'm so excited to be able to do the mitzvah. You know, that's what you're supposed to say. Thank you, Mommy, for giving me the job. That's what you're supposed to do. Not to complain, you're making things hard for me, you know? So, that's the way. But some boys say, okay, Mommy, again, throw out the garbage. That's not nice. He threw out the garbage. But he did it without a nice taste. He made his mommy feel bad that she's bothering him. A different kid says, I want to do it. I'm running to help Mommy, to throw out the garbage. That's the way it's supposed to be done. When you do a mitzvah, you do it with energy, with happiness, quickly, on the morning. Have a mitzvah to have a meal on Purim. When it's still morning, I want to start. Zrizut, it's called. No, starting on the morning. As soon as I could, I wanted to go to the mitzvah of having a meal. We're not asking something hard from us. We're asking something, to eat something, that's all. Eat a piece of chicken. It's not too hard, you know? So, this is number 1. Number 2, don't forget, Erev Shabbat is a mitzvah to get washed up. As a pasuk, according to the Rambam, it's included in the mitzvah, in the pasuk in Yeshayahu HaNavi, Bechibadeto, to honor Shabbat. See, put on special nice clothing for Shabbat. Put on special nice clothing. But it's not just that, you have to be clean. Having a shower, a hot shower, on Shabbat is a special mitzvah. Washing yourself up is a mitzvah. So you have a mitzvah of getting washed up for Shabbat. If you finish the meal on Purim early enough, you'll have time to get washed up. You have another mitzvah of getting washed up for Shabbos. What about having a shave? On Purim, you're not supposed to do melacha. Someone that has a certain job, tell them, on Purim, I'm taking a day off. Purim, you take a day off. Well, what about, I can't do melacha. On Shabbos, I can't have a shave. What about Purim? Mutter, it's a mitzvah to look pretty for Shabbos. Have a shave, look clean, nice. With a kosher shaver, look nice. If so, you're doing a mitzvah. A mitzvah is permissible. Having a whole barbershop going, it's not honorable for Purim. Because if you're going to have a whole barbershop going on, it doesn't look like any holiday of any kind, you know? But if a person has a shave, it takes him 2 minutes. Shaves around, it looks nice for Shabbos, wonderful. It's a mitzvah. Okay? So, this is another mitzvah you have. By making it earlier, you have time. Also, that the woman should have time and to remember to light Nerot Shabbat, candles for Shabbos. There's another big thing, and that is davening mincha on Erev Shabbat. What's the shaila? You're not supposed to be drunk when you're coming to talk to the king. Imagine someone comes in to a king. He's all, he's all nuts. He drink. He's all. So that's the way you come to a king. The same thing also when you come to daven. It's not the time to be drunk when you come talking to Hashem. You have to be with honor. You don't come crazy. You know what you're doing. It's not the way. They call it derech eretz. It's called. So we daven mincha. So usually, it's not the time to have a cup of wine before davening. Have the cup of wine if you want after davening, not before davening. But on Shabbat, you have a mitzvah to have kiddush. On Yom Tov, a mitzvah of kiddush. It's a mitzvah to have wine. Also, Purim is a mitzvah of kiddush. So if someone had a cup of wine, a cup or two of wine before mincha, is not the end of the world because he's still sober enough. He's able to stand like a human being with honor and daven like he's supposed to. Great. But if a person really drank, his head's spinning, he doesn't have complete control, as they say, that's not the way to daven. So someone's starting off at the meal earlier, and he wants to break the meal in half, go to shul to daven mincha for 20 minutes and come right back in the middle of the meal. And make sure, don't get drunk before you daven mincha. Because that's not the way to daven when you're all crazy, Don't forget, anyway, you shouldn't be all crazy, just jolly, happy. Making yourself and everyone being in a good mood. That's the way to do it, Not being dangerous, as they say. Okay, one more thing before finishing the halachot of Erev Shabbat, of Purim Erev Shabbat. When you go daven mincha, let's see, you had a piece of challah, you had some chicken, you had breakfast, now it's time to go daven mincha. You had a cup of wine, now it's time to go daven mincha. Just a minute, are you allowed to go daven mincha in the middle of a meal without benching? You might forget the bench. What you're supposed to do is tell one of your friends, or someone's married, tell his wife or one of the kids, please do me a favor. You stay by the Purim table over here. I'm coming back in 20 minutes from davening mincha. Please do me a favor. Stay for 20 minutes next to the table. I know my wife is waiting. I know my friend is waiting for me. I know I'm going to come back. I'm not going to let her stay here for a couple hours, So I know I'm going to come right back. I'm not going to want him to feel bad that I'm staying away for so long. So stay over here by the table. I'm coming right back. And this is going to remind me to come back. So the best thing is starting before the chatzot, if possible. And eat whatever you want. Have a little bit of wine. Not a lot if you want. But be sober enough. It should be respectable the way you're davening. When you come daven mincha, ask someone to stay by the table. Come back as soon as you could. It's not fair if someone should be waiting for you so long. Quickly come back and finish off all jolly with the drinking of the wine. So this is about the halachot of Purim on Friday. What's a couple of basic halachot in the halachot of Mishloach Manot? Well, it's supposed to make friends. It's supposed to be someone you're angry about, to make shalom bayit, as they say, with everyone. With your roommates, with your neighbors, with your friends, family, and everything else. That's the idea. Everyone should be best friends. Now, according to the opinion of Rabbi Shlomo Alkabatz and Manot HaLevi. Okay? There's another reason, which usually by us is not so, to make sure everyone has what to eat. But nowadays, everyone has what to eat. So nowadays, it's mostly the idea of to make friends. Everyone should be best friends. So, you said Mishloach Manot. I want to ask you something. What do you feel? How do you feel? Someone sending Mishloach Manot. What did he send you? Half a cookie? A little candy? What else? Half an apple? You like that? I think it'll be a bit insulting. This is a Mishlach Manot. It's something that looks like he's making fun of me, you know? Should be something a bit respectable. So therefore, let's say, give Mishlach Manot to your Rosh Yeshiva, let's say. Ooh, you can't just give a little nothing, a cookie and something, you know? It should be something that's giving him honor, okay? That's the way to do it. Just a minute, I want to ask you another question. Someone, Baruch Hashem made him very rich. He makes $100,000 a day, let's say, okay? When it comes to Mishlach Manot, let's see, the cheapest Mishlach Manot possible, I'll send him some, I don't know what, little tiny nothings. People say, you have so much money. When it comes to Mishlach Manot, you sending pennies. It's insulting also. Says the Chemed, also try to be honorable according to your abilities. Everyone knows you have ability to much more than this. Not nice. So, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars. No. But just it should be a nice, pleasant feeling is the idea. So do it in a way it's a bit respectable. You know what I mean? If let's say one boy send the other boy a Danish with a nice tasting yogurt or something, I think a lot of times between boys it could be respectable already. You know what I mean? But to the rabbi, you send the rabbi a Danish and a yogurt, it sounds a little bit strange. You know what I mean? To the Rosh Yeshiva, a little bit more respectable, you know? It has to be according to respect and to make sure that it's pleasant. What about Mirz Hashem, you get married, Mirz Hashem, the wives? Does the wife have to send her own friends or not? First of all, boys send to boys. Girls send to girls. Boys do not send to girls. Girls do not send to boys. But just a minute. She has a mitzvah, mishlacha. She also was supposed to be killed out by Haman. She also was saved. So she also wants to do the mitzvot of Purim. So how do you do that? So either she sends a even though she's taking care of the kitchen, taking all the mishlach manot, she has all the fun of taking care of mishlach manot, but not to forget also to have to her friend to send mishlach manot. This is from whoever to whoever, from this woman to this woman. Or if let's say you have 4 different things in the plate, so what do you do then? You could say, listen, this is from me and my wife to you and your wife. It should be something spelled out that she should also have her part in from girl to girl, not only at the husband's part. What about children? Don't forget, there's a mitzvah of chinuch, getting the kids used to also doing mitzvot. Give them some wafers, some. They should also have to give to his friends 2 things: a wafer and a Coke, or something. Something that also should be. That the kid also get used to doing mitzvot and mishlach manot. Not to forget the kids. They should also do mishlach manot in some way. Another thing. A lot of times, the mitzvah, you get married, you have older kids, and you get to know a lot of people. So what happens is, you start sending your children to be the messengers to give mishlach manot. This is the way it goes. The kid's already 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. You send your boys, your girls, you send them to go out to give the mishlach manot to people. How do you know that the kid got there? He's only a kid. Maybe he took the chocolates and ate them all up, and the bottle of wine he threw in the garbage. And what else? Who knows? Went and played, we finished playing, came home. How do you know he did the job? A kid is only a kid. How do you know the kid did a job? It's a problem. So let's say you tell your child, this is the beautiful mishlach manot to give to the grandparents. So I have an idea for you. If you see the grandparents send back, he must have gone over to Bobby and give her the mishlach manot. Otherwise, it would never gone through like this. That the grandparents sending back mishlach manot. You send it to your neighbors 2 buildings away. The neighbors send back. If you didn't get there, it wouldn't have sent back. But if let's say you send, and a lot of times they didn't send back, or they'll send back 2 hours later, the kid comes back empty-handed. You gave it? Yeah. But a kid is as sweet as he is, and as righteous as he is, but the kids are only kids, don't forget. You can't trust them. Open Rabbi Akiva Eger at the end of Siman Reish Chav, in Yoreh Deah. So you can't believe a kid. So make sure, if you really wanted to make sure it goes through, pick up a phone and say, hello, did I send mishlach manot? Okay, see it's getting late. Maybe I'll say 2 words about Matanot Le'Avyonim and finish. And if there are any questions, so I'll wait a few minutes for questions. Matanot Le'Avyonim. Just like Mishloach Manot, you're supposed to make, it should be respectable, to make friends, as they say. Respectable, such a respectable person sends something more respectable than this, you know? The same idea also, Mabai Matanot Le'Avyonim. It should be an amount of money that he's happy to receive. If you give him a couple of pennies, you didn't hit the good feeling in his heart. You didn't do it. Now, Vosner holds, since you're supposed to give to 2 aniyim, make sure you give one per person 10 shekel, one per person 10 shekel. If someone has money, if he's able to give 50 apiece, Rabbi Yashiv held even 50 shekel apiece. If I'm willing to spend money sometimes on a big box of fancy chocolates costing 50 shekel, a mitzvah is worth 1,000,000 times more than chocolates. If I could spend 50 shekel on chocolates, I could spend 50 shekel on a mitzvah, making poor people happy. If only you had the financial ability, don't go into debt, and if you don't have great ability, it's kedai, very good idea, at least to give 10 shekel to one per person, 10 to another. If you have the ability of 50 apiece, great. But don't push yourself beyond your ability, according to your ability. Number 1. Number 2. When you get married, give for your wives also. Let's say give 10 shekel to one, 10 to another. You're married? Give also for your wives. Tell your wife, you know what? I'm going to do a mitzvah for you today. Which mitzvah? Metanot Le'Avyonim. I'm going to give to the Gabbai Tzedakah. I'm going to give him 10 shekel to one, 10 shekel to another to make sure you have a mitzvah. What about children? From the age of 6 also. Give them 2 half shekel pieces or whatever to make sure the kids should also have the mitzvah. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Yeah.
Obviously, when Shabbos comes in, it's Shabbos, but is there a later, or when's the latest you can daven Ma'ariv and Kabbalah Shabbos?
A very good question. A very good question. The problem is, after all the wine, all the eating, if you're going to push it off, you'll fall asleep on the table or on the floor. So I would advise those that it's kedai, the right thing is as soon as you could, because otherwise, once you're knocked out, you're not going to have a Ma'ariv tonight. So it's very important, as quick as you could, the better.
If your costume happens to be weekday Shabbos, then if Shabbos comes in, should you take a shower and just put back the same clothes, or should you?
You could. The way to be dressed, if you have a costume. If you have Shabbos clothing, that's the way to be dressed for Purim. Either Shabbos clothing or costume. I'll tell you something. If you have a costume, don't wear girl clothing for boys and boy clothing for girls, number 1. Also, another thing is, some costumes are okay. Some costumes are such a knack that people stare and say, wow, So what's wrong with that? It's lots of fun. It's lots of fun, not by davening. You know why? Because no one around you can look in the siddur. Everyone's staring at you. You look so good, And it says in the Rambam, Chuvas Rambam, Shechanor, Simon Sadi, anything that could take away your concentration, don't have around you. You gotta concentrate. Davening is with concentration. Sometimes they have on tables different things for different charities. You see different pictures of different big rabbis that they give charity and this and that. If it's bothering concentration, take it away, put it to the side. Anything that bothers concentration, not in davening. So also over here, some costumes, everyone's staring the whole davening. Everyone's staring at the costume, These you wear some other time, non-davening. In davening, that shouldn't be. If it's only pashut, if no one notices so much, you turn a new hat or whatever, it doesn't. So that's okay. But if you're not wearing a costume, wear Shabbat clothing. That's the way it is. You have a shower, put on the back again the Shabbat clothing. Anything else?
Let's say you're hearing the Megillah reading and then you really have to go to the bathroom and you just go for a quick minute. What's the minimum one can be Yotzei in with Megillah in terms of hearing?
There's no minimum. He has to go to the washroom before, it shouldn't happen to him. Because if he missed out anything, he has to hear from there on till the end.
To go back from the beginning.
Not from the beginning, but from where he was holding at least. till the end again. Where is he going to find another minyan? So that's very important. Before Megillah, to go to the washroom, nothing should bother him. Someone has a cold and this and that, let him sneeze it out. Before, not to bother himself in the middle. Yeah?
I read a Halachos sheet that said that if you think you missed a word or you weren't paying attention, you can actually read to catch up, and you should read.
Beautiful. If you know how to read the words well, a lot of times it's going so quick that if you're not used to it, so you might read the word wrong also. But it's true. Just make sure to read it correctly, nicely, and everything's okay. Understand? But you have to keep up,
Can you follow along with the Targum set?
I don't advise it. You know why? Because the Targum, you're thinking about the Targum. It could bother your concentration. When you listen to the Kirat HaMegillah, your ears, the mind doesn't have to be concentrated 100%, says the Tshuvas Rashba, but at least with the ears have to be there. It has to be, at least your finger could go along. You know what I mean? It's a good idea. Your eyes, better the fingers going along. As long as you see if the finger's in the right spot, you heard it. But if you're thinking about the Targum, before you know it, you miss things all mixed up. I don't advise it.
If you don't understand Hebrew?
You mean in English?
Yeah.
You're saying a very good question. It's better to go along with him, because otherwise, sometimes some parts of the Megillah are so interesting, you be concentrated on what you saw with your eyes in the English, and your ears not going to be with him. You know what I mean? And the looking at the English at other times, but when you're listening, the best thing is to hear what he says. It's the best to go along with the finger as much as you could to make sure every word. And you don't have to be pressured. You were there, I'm sure you heard it,
If you extend the Surah into Shabbos, does the Shabbos meal have any connection to Purim?
It's the second half of the same meal, It's the second half of the same meal. So even though Shabbat is a separate mitzvah and Purim is a separate mitzvah, the first half was on Purim, the second half was on Shabbat,
There still would be an Indian to continue drinking?
No. But the guy is drunk, The second half too. But don't forget, don't do anything dangerous, or anything that could embarrass yourself. Some people, they get drunk, they say not nice things, and they can't, if they would know what they said, they wouldn't be able to face anyone after. You know what I mean? It's not what Hashem wanted. Hashem wanted us to be real happy, making ourselves happy, and making everyone else happy. But not to embarrass ourselves, not to hurt ourselves, Anything else?
Yeah, simple question. If a person has a medical condition where they can't actually drink,
He's not allowed to.
what?
Watching your health is a mitzvah deoraita. It's more important. You're not obligated to have any wine of any kind if it's not healthy. A sugar problem, anything else, heart problem. Whoever's not supposed to have alcohol, he's not supposed to drink on Purim. Watching your health is a deoraita. It's a clear obligation. Drinking the wine is a mitzvah. It's a nice thing, but it's not an obligation. Stay there.
My question was, you use other substances to get to that point.
If he's only not allowed to have grapes, let's say hepatitis, something like that. Other things is, that's what you mean?
I was thinking of other substances that inhale.
No, that no. That never. Never, there's no mitzvah there whatsoever. No. Okay, one more. What? Yeah. Yes, but the right thing is not to be so drunk to lose a marv. If he knows he might lose marv, he's already overdid it. Have a good Purim and a lot of hatzlacha and simchas.